We are jumping straight into the future of water sports today. If you've been watching this space, you know eFoils are, well, they're just incredible.
Oh, for sure. That feeling of flying silently over the water is something else.
But, and it's a big but, there's a steep learning curve.
Mhm.
So what happens when innovation targets accessibility? You get the eFoil scooter.
And that's what we're seeing. It's being called the lightest, the easiest form of e-foiling out there.
Exactly. So for anyone listening who wants to get ahead of the curve, our mission today is pretty clear.
It is. We are unpacking the two major players, the Flitescooter from Fliteboard and the Audi HyperFly from a company called Aerofoils.
And we're going to figure out which one really delivers the best experience for this, this whole new group of riders.
To do that, we need a really solid source. We can't just rely on marketing material.
No way. We're leaning very heavily on a detailed head-to-head comparison from eSurfer, written by Andreas Lakeberg.
And we should probably pause on that name for a second. This isn't just some random review.
Not at all.
Andreas Lakeberg is, he's considered one of the world's leading experts in electric surfboards.
Yeah.
He's been running his blog and YouTube channel since 2017.
And he's a dealer, right, since 2018. So he's not just testing them, he's selling them, fixing them, and hearing feedback every single day.
Precisely. When he talks about a component's quality, he knows what he's talking about.
That context is everything. So his deep dive really starts with the most fundamental question. Why do these scooters even exist?
Right. What problem are they actually solving?
We mentioned the learning curve, but it's deeper than that, isn't it?
It is. The core issue is really safety and scalability. A standard eFoil is a high-performance machine. You just can't hand one over to a total beginner.
So like for a rental shop or on a super yacht for guests to use.
Exactly. It's just too dangerous without, several hours of proper training. There's a liability issue.
Okay, that makes sense. So the scooter had to be stable and safe right from the get-go. How did they achieve that?
Well, they share a few key design principles.
Okay.
First up is volume, just sheer size.
They look huge.
They are around 230 liters of volume. This means you can stand on the board totally still without getting your feet wet. It doesn't sink.
So immediate stability, no wobbling around just to get started.
Then there's the mast. They both use a much shorter mast, just 60 centimeters.
And that's shorter than a performance eFoil.
Oh, much shorter. So if the nose of the board dips, you're not going to get launched over the front. The handlebar is right there to catch you.
Right, and that's the most obvious difference, isn't it? The big vertical handlebar.
That's the absolute key. The German term is Lenkstange, and it completely changes the dynamic.
How so?
Well, on a normal eFoil, you have 2 points of contact. Your feet, that's it.
Okay.
The scooter gives you 4. Your hands and your feet. It just provides this incredibly secure and intuitive feeling for a beginner.
It's like the difference between learning to ride a skateboard versus a bicycle. Having your hands involved changes everything.
That's a perfect analogy. But I know what you're thinking. Does all this safety engineering make them boring?
Yeah, that was my next question. Are they just glorified training wheels?
It's a fair question.
Yeah.
And the expert, Andreas, he addresses it directly. He says that while he and his trainers wouldn't trade in their performance boards, they still confirm the scooters are genuinely fun for a spin.
Yeah.
You still get that silent glide, that feeling of flight. It's just in a much more controlled package.
So it serves a totally different purpose. And who is that target audience?
It's largely the luxury market. Someone who wants a beautiful little tender to just, glide from their yacht to a restaurant on the shore, dry-footed.
And rental operations, charter yachts.
Absolutely. And for anyone who just found the normal eFoil experience a bit too daunting, but here's the kicker, something that shows they aren't just toys.
Okay.
If you ride them efficiently, not too fast, they can travel up to 40 kilometers on one charge.
40 kilometers, that's serious range. That's not just a quick spin around the bay.
Not at all. And we'll come back to what that capability implies.
Yeah.
Let's get into the direct comparison now.
Okay. So, at first glance, the Flitescooter and the HyperFly look, well, almost identical.
They really do. Similar volume, removable handlebar, that 60-centimeter mast, and they both use the safer jet propulsion instead of an open propeller.
Even the prices are pretty close, right?
They are, but there's a big caveat there. The analysis from eSurfer stresses that you have to compare them configured the same way.
What do you mean?
You have to make sure you're comparing both with a large battery option and the fast charger. Once you do that, yeah, the prices are very, very close.
Got it. So the real differences are under the surface, in the details.
Exactly. And it starts with the controls, the handlebar itself. This is where you see the design philosophies really start to diverge.
Okay, let's break that down. Fliteboard's approach first.
They took a modular approach. The Flitescooter uses their standard eFoil remote control, and it just sort of snaps into a holder on the handlebar.
The upside there is, I guess, you can take it out and use it on a regular Fliteboard if you upgrade later.
That's the pro. Yeah, you save a bit on components, but the kerns, especially for a beginner, are pretty significant.
Like what?
Well, two things. First, to change gears, you have to reach your hand into the middle of the handlebar. For a novice who is laser-focused on balancing, taking a hand off the grip can cause a real wobble.
I can see that. And the second thing...
The throttle. Acceleration is controlled with your thumb.
A thumb throttle. That's pretty standard on a lot of boards, but why is it a problem here?
It's about fine motor control. When you're gripping a handlebar for stability, using your thumb for precise acceleration feels a bit clumsy. It can strain your hand.
Okay, so how does the Audi HyperFly do it differently?
Aerofoils started from a blank slate. They designed an integrated remote control with a color display that's wired directly into the handlebar.
So it's custom built just for the scooter?
Yes, and that lets them optimize the ergonomics. To change gears, there's a dedicated switch for your left hand. You never have to let go.
And the throttle?
This is the big one. Acceleration is controlled by your index finger or middle finger, like a trigger.
Ah, that makes so much more sense.
The expert analysis found it gives a much, much better feeling and way more responsiveness. You have a solid, secure grip with your palm, and you're using your most dexterous fingers for speed control.
That's a huge ergonomic win. And it goes beyond just the controls, right? The build quality.
It does. Leitsberg noted that the handlebar itself and the point where it connects to the board just feels more robust, more high quality on the Aerofoils model. It inspires more confidence.
So round one goes clearly to the HyperFly.
Without a doubt.
Okay, let's move under the water. What about the mast and the wings? The materials used there tell a story too, I'd imagine.
They certainly do. Fliteboard uses aluminum for the mast on the Flitescooter.
And Audi?
Carbon. And while aluminum is fine, carbon is just the higher quality material for this application.
Why is that? Lighter, I assume?
It is lighter, but more importantly, it's stiffer. It resists bending and twisting under pressure much better, which is crucial for stability when you're up on the foil. It means less wobble.
So better materials directly translate to a calmer, more predictable ride?
Exactly. And you also see a big difference in how the rear wing, the stabilizer, is attached.
Okay, explain that.
Fliteboard uses what's called a fuselage tail. So there's a connecting piece that runs under the jet drive to the rear wing. Now, this design is pretty common for propeller systems.
Which suggests?
The experts suggest this shows Fliteboard's main development focus is still on props, and they've sort of adapted that design for their jet drive scooter.
A bit of an engineering compromise, maybe?
Perhaps. Now, compare that to Aerofoils. They only make eFoils with jet drives. That's their specialty.
So their design is probably more optimized for it.
It is. They mount the rear wing directly to the jet nozzle itself. This makes the whole assembly much stiffer. And according to the tests, it results in a noticeably calmer ride. Better rigidity.
Okay, so HyperFly is leading on materials and assembly too. But there's one feature that really separates them, and it's this anti-breach system.
This is the absolute game changer. And it's exclusive to the HyperFly.
So what does it do? It tackles that main problem for beginners, right?
It tackles the single biggest frustration, rising up too high, the wing breaking the surface of the water, what we call a breach, and then you instantly crash.
That sudden drop is brutal. I've seen it happen. So how does the system work? Is it some complex electronic sensor?
That's the beautiful part. It's brilliantly simple. It's passive engineering. There's just a small hole drilled at a very specific height in the mast.
A hole? How does a hole stop you from crashing?
Because that hole feeds air into the jet drive.
Wait, you want air in your jet drive? That sounds like the opposite of what you want.
Normally, yes. But here's what happens. If you rise too high and that little hole breaks the surface, it instantly sucks air into the jet. This disrupts the water flow for a split second.
And that causes a drop in power.
A tiny automatic drop in lift. The board just gently lowers itself back to a stable height.
Wow. I can just feel the relief of a beginner hearing that. That constant overcorrecting and shooting too high is what makes people give up.
Exactly. The expert confirms it works incredibly well. He says it won't save you from a massive aggressive pull-up, but for that slow, creeping rise the beginners always do in a long turn, it's perfect.
It just helps you stay in the pocket.
He specifically said that before this system, Beginners would spend their first hour doing this constant whiplash dance of up, down, up, down. The HyperFly pretty much eliminates that.
And the Flitescooter has nothing like this.
Nothing. And for a product aimed squarely at beginners and safety, that absence is a massive point for the HyperFly.
Okay, final safety check. The kill switch, you fall off, the motor has to stop instantly. How do they compare?
Flitescooter uses a safety key that connects via Bluetooth to the remote. You wear it on your wrist with Velcro, and when you fall in the water, it cuts the power.
Bluetooth sounds high-tech, but I'm sensing a downside.
The practical drawback is maintenance. That little Bluetooth fob has a battery. It needs to be changed regularly if you're running a charter business with 10 of these.
That's 10 more batteries to worry about. Another point of failure.
Correct. Now, the HyperFly approach.
Let me guess. Simpler.
Elegant simplicity. It's a magnetic key. It attaches to the handlebar, and a leash goes to your wrist. You fall, the magnet pulls off, power is cut. Instantly.
No batteries to change.
And critically, it's faster. It's a physical disconnection. It doesn't have to wait for a sensor to get wet or a Bluetooth signal to drop. The moment there's tension on that leash, it's off.
From a reliability and a pure safety standpoint, that just sounds superior.
It is.
Okay, so let's pull all this together into a final verdict for the listener. We've seen the HyperFly win on controls, on materials, on that amazing anti-breach system, and now on the safety key.
Yeah, the conclusion from the eSurfer testing is pretty clear-cut. In this direct comparison, the source finds the Aerofoils HyperFly to be superior to the Flitescooter.
What are the absolute key takeaways for why?
It really comes down to specialized design. The HyperFly feels like it was designed from the ground up to be the best possible eFoil scooter.
Not an adaptation of an existing product line.
Exactly. And that translates into the better ergonomics of the index finger throttle, the higher quality carbon mast for a calmer ride, and of course that crucial anti-breach system. It's just a more refined, more thoughtful package for its target audience.
That's a powerful verdict. So for someone listening who might be ready to buy, what's the final piece of advice?
Same as always with these things.
Yeah.
Try before you buy. The expert recommends finding a test center, like his in Berlin, and actually getting your feet on both boards.
Because feeling that throttle response or feeling the anti-breach system kick in, you can't get that from a spec sheet.
You really can't.
So what does this all mean for the bigger picture? We started this saying the eFoil scooter is about safety and accessibility. And we've seen how they engineer that in the jet drives, the 4 contact points, the short mast. But the HyperFly's win here shows that even in this entry-level niche, continuous innovation in the components, the carbon, the integrated controls, that clever anti-breach system is what separates the good from the great.
And that actually leads right into our final thought. These devices were designed to bypass the need for hours of training, right? To make them safe for a guest on a boat to just hop on and go.
Right.
But let's circle back to that capability we mentioned at the start.
The 40-kilometer range.
Exactly. These scooters simplify the ride, but they don't sacrifice serious speed or distance. They can really travel. So the question becomes, how far can this category push that blend of easy-to-use safety and genuine high performance?
Before these things start to require the very training and regulations they were designed to bypass in the first place.
It's that tension between accessibility and capability. Where does that line get drawn?
Something for you to consider on your next deep dive.
Until next time.
See you soon.